Thank you, Mr Temporary Speaker. Earlier this month, I posted a copy of a card that was sent to me by the Premier and my response. Here's why. Shortly after I returned to work, I visited a single mother of 3 with termites in her kitchen. She's had no power there for ages. She's also just been diagnosed with cancer of the cervix and she can't wait to get into the public system, so she's having to pay for treatment. Another single mother with stage 4 breast cancer, upset because she didn't know that the MRI that they used to find the extent of her cancer was going to cost her $500. The unspoken comment to me being that she wouldn't have spent that much money on her own health. The woman from the University of Wollongong who had to return to work 4 days after her second mastectomy because she had no access to sick leave entitlements. With higher casualisation, we see earlier diagnosis, better screening, but it doesn't help if women can't take time off work. And of course there was a silence, crickets, from the government on Women's Health Week last couple of weeks ago. Country Labor Conference, the Leader of the Opposition advised that no more mastectomies can be done at Manning-based hospital, people have to go to Newcastle. And of course, during my own illness, I watched the amazing health workers who nursed and cared for me, every one of them working hard, doing their best in a broken system which has not had enough funding under this government and with federal government's cuts on top. That was the gift of my experiences, finding out what it was like as an ordinary patient in this system, not like one of the ministers who asked me, "Didn't you tell them who you were? Entitled much?" So I'll not be lectured on graciousness and politeness by those opposite. I said thank you to the Premier, I told her what happened to me, and I asked her to prioritise regional health. It's a pretty simple message. Gracious? How gracious was it when I got the Liberal independent councillors saying the Lib dependent councillors saying in council meetings, let's just see if the member sees out her term. Well, I'm not dead, I'm not dying, in fact I'm stronger than ever. I'm essentially a private person. I didn't wish to put myself in the front of this battle for better regional health. I fought for 10 years to do everything I could to stop myself getting cancer, and I fought off the privatisation of our new hospital solely to ensure that all people in my community had proper access to good quality public health care. Unfortunately, I won only one of those 2 fights. My surgeon called me to tell me I had cancer on the day that we found out that the former member for Gosford, Cathy Smith, died. I gave my contribution on her condolence motion in August last year when I was struggling to find a treatment that would help me keep myself cancer-free. There were days when I struggled to walk into this chamber or do my parliamentary or electorate duties, but I kept going. I put on about 12 kilos because of the pain I experienced and had to endure the taunts of those opposite, particularly from the member for Borkham Hills, calling me the member for Waitland in this place. I don't care. I've got no regard for his opinion, but I look at the example he sets every day of the disrespect and the nastiness, and I wonder who else in this chamber is suffering from some unknown issue and how his and others' bullying behaviour would just be adding to someone's pain and suffering. We are politicians, but we should also act as humans. I draw attention to my experiences to shine a light on the wrong priorities of this government when it comes to healthcare for people living in regional New South Wales. And I urge every member of this place to read my Facebook post, read the comments of the people that come from across the state, some from their own electorates. I pay tribute to Cathy Smith, the former member for Gosford, who was a fierce advocate for cancer services for her community, which is essentially how she found her way into this place. She made a difference and she has inspired me every single day in my own journey. She is one who was always gracious, but she had some fire too. And I have to admit, she probably had it in better balance than me. We all have a unique opportunity in this place to act for ordinary people who are facing the biggest crises of their lives. And it's incumbent on us to do something about it. I will not apologise for using my own experiences to stimulate a community debate about these issues. The fact that the government has chosen to attack me on my statement, which is fairly innocuous, so repeatedly over the last few days is just more evidence that they are not listening to our community. Essentially, it shows what we all know, that they simply do not care about the health of people in our regional communities. Thank you.
I'd like to thank the member for Maitland. We're hearing